In this video, I'm going to show you how Corey, who is an emergency veterinarian, travels every week, works days one week, nights the next, was able to drop 19 pounds in 3 months. And as of 2 days ago, he just posted that he is up to 2,500 calories per day now, up from his lowest of 1,700. So we're gonna walk through A, how he was able to lose all this weight while traveling, and B, how his calories have been able to go up without him gaining weight. So let's dive into both of these things. So to start off, let's first frame what Corey's lifestyle is like and what we're dealing with. Because when Corey came to me, he was like, I don't know if anyone can help me. He had tried 7 different programs and none of them had worked long-term because his schedule was just so chaotic. Now, what we needed to do first of all was have a clear game plan of what to do on the road with his crazy schedule. Now, because he works 1 week of days and then a week of nights, one of the biggest things that we had to focus on was nutrition. And the reason I say nutrition is because when he was tired, that would make it a lot easier to not make great choices nutritionally. And every single week he was tired because it takes a huge toll on the body to switch from working and being awake during the day to then the following week being awake during the night. And when we feel low sleep, that also increases our levels of cortisol. When we have higher cortisol, our hunger and our cravings go up and we tend to make poorer nutritional choices. So anyways, we needed to map that out because, as I like to say, if you fail to plan ahead, then you're planning to fail. And that is especially true with traveling a lot. We need to make sure that we're fully prepped and planned ahead. Now, let's talk about what we also want to do from a science perspective, because we want to think about our metabolism. And one of the things that Corey had done on the 7 different programs he had tried, and by the way, the one that he was able to stick to the longest was Noom, but the reason I don't like Noom is because Noom just tells you to eat less food, basically. And that's not what we need to do long term. And I'm going to tell you exactly why that matters and why we need to get our calories up over the long term. But anyways, most fitness and diet advice tells us to move more, right? We should get more exercise and we should eat less food. And originally and initially that works to a point. However, we usually run into something later on called metabolic adaptation. Metabolic adaptation is where our metabolism slows down to match the amount of food we're eating. Think about it from an evolutionary perspective, because we have the same bodies now that we did thousands of years ago. And so thousands of years ago, if one of our ancestors couldn't find food, the body would be like, oh shoot, I'm gonna starve. I should downregulate my metabolism and start burning less calories. Makes sense, right? In our society, we have access to an abundance of food. The only restrictions we experience are the restrictions we put on ourselves, but our bodies don't know that. Our bodies still go into survival mode because they think that we might be about to die. So with Corey, what we did first, let me go back to his photos here. What we did first was we put him into a deficit and we helped him drop weight, specifically 19 pounds in 3 months. And with this deficit though, there's something important I want to point out, which is that we didn't just say eat less food, we actually gave him macronutrient targets, which is proteins, fats, and carbs. Now, he had a specific ratio of these. Ideally, we wanted to have that ratio higher in protein so that he can continue to maintain and build muscle mass while losing body fat. A common mistake a lot of people make is they just cut their calories without looking at what their macros are, and they end up losing muscle mass and body fat together, right? So then they lose weight, but then they're like, but I'm skinny fat and I don't know why. Here's a picture I can show you to illustrate this. Notice how he's carrying a lot of visceral belly fat, and here he's lost a significant chunk of it. You can see it here as well. You can see the divots here. He's not 6-pack shredded yet. We're getting there. I'll post another video once he's shredded, because we're doing a metabolic priming phase now where we bring up his calories. Then we'll put him in another deficit to really get him shredded. But anyways, I digress. The point here being that when we are in metabolic adaptation, we can't really go any further. We can't continue to cut because the body thinks that it's going to starve. So what do we do instead? We have to actually reverse the diet back up, and we have to prime the metabolism for the next fat loss phase. When we're priming the metabolism, essentially what we're telling the body is, hey, you're okay, you're not starving, you're not about to die, so you don't need to be holding on to everything that you eat as fat. Now, what we do when we're priming the metabolism is, again, we need to look at our macronutrients, because if we go back to the wheel here, here's an interesting thing about macronutrients, about having a diet high in protein, is what we can do is over time, we want to actually manipulate the resting metabolic rate. Because again, if we go back to what everybody does that works initially but then fails, is they move more and they eat less, and they're focusing on this quadrant right here. Active energy expenditure only burns at max 25% of the total calories that we burn in a given day. So if we are focusing just on getting our reduction in calories and our ability to burn fat from working out, we're eventually going to hit a cap on how hard we can go. Versus if we focus on building our resting metabolic rate, there is theoretically no cap. We can continue to make that resting metabolic rate higher and higher and higher. Now, then the question becomes, okay, that's great. I'd love to burn calories at rest. How do I do that? Well, we need to put more muscle mass on the body. I want to show you an example right here, right? So these are two pictures of me. This is me in high school. And this is me more recently. And in this picture, I was 130 pounds, same height. In this picture, 185 pounds. Same height, literally 55 pounds of muscle is the difference in these photos. I want you to guess, if you're watching this video right now, how many calories was I eating here versus how many can I eat here to maintain my body weight? The answer is I was eating about 2,000 to 2,200 calories here, and here I can eat 3,000 calories per day and maintain my body weight without losing weight. The reason for that is because I have so much more muscle mass on my body that I am literally burning calories just having that muscle existing. When we think about metabolic adaptation, what is our body actually doing here? Is it's slowing down our metabolism. And part of what we do when we slow down our metabolism and have high cortisol is our bodies tell us to get rid of muscle. They don't want to hold on to it because 1 pound of muscle burns 4 times the amount of calories that a pound of fat does. So if we've put our body into starvation mode, that's actually really going to work against us and keep us stuck because we're not going to be able to build and maintain and have more muscle mass on the body. So we have to do this metabolic priming phase to diet out and get out of that starvation mode before we can even worry about doing another weight loss cycle. Typically, what I recommend is 2 to 3 months max of a deficit, and then we stop and we do metabolic priming, we reverse that, and then we do another cycle. And it should be a cyclical process, not a one-time, all right, here's my calories, I gotta just hit these for the rest of my life. That's not how that works. We need to cyclically cycle through decreasing our calories so we can get shredded and then increasing them so that we can increase our metabolism over time. Okay, as you can see here, this really occurs, metabolic adaptation occurs from prolonged calorie restriction. So the longer we're restricting calories, the more likely we are to slip into metabolic adaptation. Okay, so now going back to Corey, we got his plan dialed in with all the travel, with the insane schedule. We worked on his sleep, which is key. Also, sleep is a big driver for a lot of this. And I actually did a full training on sleep and how to really optimize that because that's a whole nother topic and requires an entire another video. So if you want to see that one, I will link that in the description of this one. But yeah, so anyways, we got him down 1,700 calories. He was getting leaned out. And then we started increasing his calories slowly over time. Here's the really interesting part. His muscle continued to climb and the scale is staying right around the same 4-pound range. So he's not actually gaining weight, and yet he's eating more and more calories every single day. This is the power of metabolic priming right here. So I hope you're understanding this with me. Drop any questions that you have in the comments down below. But yeah, I really would just want to take a moment to shout out Corey. Super proud of him too for, showing up and executing while living this type of lifestyle is not easy. So yeah, if you want a customized plan to your life, you can click the link that says work with me and my team down below, and we can see if that would be a good fit. But otherwise, I hope you're getting value from these videos. Drop any questions that you have for me in the comments down below. Check out the sleep video so you can really learn how to dial that piece in and optimize that, because that has a big role to play in our endocrinology and our hormonal function. And yeah, I'll wrap this video up here and I'll see you in the next one.